2 stalks of celery, 2 carrots, 2 onions, and garlic. Don't really worry about, how these vegetables are being cut. Just go ahead, because it is going in a braise. It's going to be cooked for a long time, and we're going to be straining the sauce. You're really only using these to add that flavor. What will be important is to make sure that all these vegetables are nice and brown, caramelized. My garlic, just going to cut them in half like that, pop that in there. And last but not least, I'm going to add 3 apples. When cooking pork, apples always come to mind. My veg is done. I'm going to turn on my pan, make sure that that's nice and hot when I'm ready to sear my meat. I'm just going to coat my pot with a little bit of canola oil. Just want to make sure that the bottom is nice and covered. These beautiful pork baby back ribs. My butcher got them all ready and prepared for me, but I just want to cut them in half just so that I can put these in the pan and make sure that they really sear on all sides. Salt and pepper, always. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of flour. This is going to help the browning process, and it's also going to thicken my sauce just a little bit. I really just want to dust these up. Let's put these babies in here. See, that's that little sound that you really want to hear. I'm going to let these go for about 3-4 minutes. Let's get started on my sauce. Super simple. I'm going to use 1 cup of everything. So 1 cup of Worcestershire sauce, 1 cup of ketchup. Nothing wrong with using ketchup. This is just going to add a little bit of sweetness and a really nice texture to my sauce. 1 cup of soy sauce. This is going to add a nice brown color, and it's going to give it just that extra little saltiness. 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. 1 cup of real maple syrup. It really does make a difference. Now my ribs, just give these a little turn. Turn my oven on to 300. Let this go for about 3-4 minutes, and I'm going to finish up my sauce. 1 whole can of chipotle pepper. They're just going to add a nice smoky flavor and a little depth to my sauce. If you can't find them in a can, you can also get them dried. I'm going to take these off the heat. Put this in here with my pan still really nice and hot. Give it just a little bit of a stir. Make sure that all those nice brown crusty bits from the bottom are really in here. At this point, it's really important to let it sit there and caramelize nicely. You don't want to touch it. So just for about 8-10 minutes, just let it go. My vegetables are ready. They've been searing for about 8 to 10 minutes. Now it's time to put all this together. Add my ribs back to the pot. I'm gonna add a handful of thyme and a handful of rosemary. Sauce. Last ingredient, bottle of red wine. Make sure that your meat is nice and covered. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water. Just like that. Starting to smell good. Make sure that everything comes up to a nice boil. Then I'm gonna cover that with aluminum foil, put it in a 300-degree oven for about 2 hours. Should be absolutely amazing. Now, for the moment of truth, let me go check out my ribs. Oh, I smell really good. That is amazing. You can smell the smokiness of these peppers. They're just perfect right now. I want these guys to eat them right off the bone, so I want to make sure that they're nice and fork tender, but really they need to really stay on the bone. There we go. I'm gonna let these cool down. Afterwards, they'll be a lot easier to cut. So let's get started on my glaze. I'm gonna need a pot and a strainer. Get all this nice sauce right into my pot here. And there we go. I'm just gonna let this reduce for about 10-15 minutes, but to help it along, I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of potato starch. Now it's important to add a little bit of the sauce into the potato starch first. This way, we're gonna make sure that we have no lumps. It's got absolutely no taste, and it adds a really nice sheen and silkiness to the sauce. I'm gonna let this go for a little bit. I'm gonna go cut my ribs. These have cooled down. They're nice holding on the bone. Cut them in one so that they're easier to eat. This is gonna be good. Just like this. One last one. Grab these over here just like that. This sauce looks absolutely amazing. Make sure I coat my ribs real nice. Oh, look at that. Really what we're looking for here is to glaze these ribs with the sauce. You want the sauce to become real nice and sticky and stick to these ribs. Potato starch will help that just a little bit. We've reduced all the flavors. Everything's concentrated in there. That's good. One last thing, a little bit of baby arugula to garnish. And there you have it.